Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hello. I have my headphones in, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if you can hear the music or not, so apologies if you can't. But I did provide the link in the chat for the channel. The channel is called SoFi Room, and this live is called that she's doing or they're doing is titled "Focused and Unbothered." 24/7 smooth R&B neo soul lo-fi. So I'm digging it. I was gonna just do some straight up jazz, but I'm like, nah, we're gonna do this. So like I said, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but if you can't, my bad. You could just I don't know, listen to it another time. Because it's a little windy, got a little bite to it. When I say this is al dente weather, this is al dente weather. It's got a little bite to it, but it's still all good. You said good morning, Miss Early Bird. Hey, Uncle L, good morning. Hey, question, can you hear me well? Well, I think you can hear me well, but can you hear the music or no? Let me know, please. Uh-oh, music about to start cutting up. Ain't that about a mofo? You can hear both? So you can hear the music well? Cool beans. You find out these headphones a little better than what I thought. How are you doing this morning? Well, I hope. Yeah, check me out. I'm on time with my live and whatnot. And I had it pre-scheduled yesterday for today. Okay, check V out. Getting ahead of the curve. Hashtag get ahead of the curve. Because then you ain't got too much making up to do. Now, do ya? Nah. We're going to get started in a second. I'm thinking that the music might not be a thing. Duh. Duh. What the heck? Oh, the music don't want to be nice today. Hi, Kiss My Cheeks. Good morning. How are you doing? Hey again. Let me see. Oh, this want to cut up for me. I thought that was a bee. I'm about to freak out. Dang, not the feng shui. Not the feng shui. Okay. Yeah, sure. I can't even ask if it's safe anymore. People stay tapping me again. Wait, whatever. We're gonna stay focused. Bless them. Bless them. I'm gonna just start taking it as a form of flattery. Okay? Say it with me. Flattery. Let's get started. So, like I told y'all before, this is May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So that's what I'm choosing to be hyper focused on in regards to what I discussed when I go live. And if I do come on here to chop the breeze with y'all, I would have already have done a live bringing awareness to mental health that day, so it wouldn't be no real sweat on my back. But the real goal is sweat off my back, excuse me. The real goal is to have it be where any live I do this month will be in regards to mental health. That's the goal. We will see. Anywho, we're going to be discussing and learning about antisocial personality disorder, ASPD for short. Antisocial personality disorder, ASPD for short. Okay? Let me know if you guys have a problem hearing me or the music. Kiss my cheeks, don't be trolling. Talking about you can't hear when you can hear. So it says, antisocial personality disorder is a mental health condition characterized by a chronic, pervasive pattern of disregarding and violating the rights of others. Jeez. People with ASPD often manipulate, deceive, and exploit others for personal gain, and they typically lack guilt or remorse for their actions. Understanding ASPD requires looking at its symptoms, origins, and how it is managed. Okay? That is the definition that is listed for me, for we, for thee, for what ASPD is, bars. Like I always tell y'all at the end of the videos, I'll say it in the beginning, I encourage people to trust but verify. And ask anything you hear from anybody. Okay? Okay. Let's go over some of the core symptoms of ASPD. Individuals with ASPD display a blatant indifference to right, wrong, and the safety of themselves or those around them. Common indicators include, let's see, they gave us 5 of them. The first one is deceitfulness and manipulation. Deceitfulness and manipulation, using charm or wit to exploit others. And then they also added chronic lying. Okay? Let's see if anybody came in or if anybody said anything. Because y'all know how I am. Did you say it was a little smart sound? Don't worry, I'll have something new soon. Oh, shucks. My mental health head hurts. Okay, so we're going to have to handle that. We're going to have to find a remedy to that. Now, aren't we? Hey, did you learn something from them back in the day? Because the goal is to learn something today. Okay, cool beans. People start describing stuff, and yep, I got that. You are not no hypochondriac. Hush. Hold on. I don't think I would mind it being described in that way. And as a matter of fact, let's take a quick pivot and Google what an infomercial is. I'm about to throw some slippers at you with your smart tail. That's what's fixing to happen. I may accept that. Hold on. An infomercial. I don't know what that word is, but I'll take that as meaning a combination of information and commercial. It refers to a long-form television advertisement, usually lasting 30 to 60 minutes, that looks like a regular talk show, news segment, or documentary. Its primary goal is to educate the viewer on a product and drive an immediate purchase. Okay, so definitely trying to educate or re-educate for those who ever may already know about the things that I discussed, but maybe have forgotten or whatever have you. But I'm definitely not trying to get y'all to purchase nothing. I don't ask y'all for nothing. Only thing I ask y'all for is anybody they coming over here is to be respectful and if don't be dwelling all weird like in my clouds. That's all I ask. I don't even press the whole pressing of the like button thing. Duh. But the primary goal is definitely to educate slash re-educate slash elevate bars slash empower and big slash make you go, hmm, hmm. But I do like that. All right. Like I know what they are, but I didn't have the exact definition. Check me out, kiss my cheeks, and I want it to be very clear. Is that okay? Hold on. That's terrible. For the record, I'm behaving. Yeah, today is Friday, and the day is still young, Uncle L, but I'll take your word for it. Let's put it in the atmosphere. No, ma'am, what? I forget. You talking crap. No, ma'am, what? Oh, it's not okay. Oh, it's not okay when I'm being very clear. What they say, it's a problem when I do it. It's like, no. Hold on. Okay, let's continue. Why don't we? Why don't we? So, we're going over the core symptoms of individuals with ASPD. Okay, we went over deceitfulness and manipulation. The next is impulsivity. Impulsivity. Say that 3 times fast. I double dog dare you to. So it says failing to plan ahead or acting recklessly without considering consequences. They just, what they call it, jump out the window. Jumping out the window. Impulsivity. Failing to plan ahead or acting recklessly without considering consequences. So they just go. They just go. And they said all that other stuff, that will be sorted out and worked out when the dust settles, I guess, is what I take from that. You just a impulsive person, unfortunately. One of the next core symptoms is aggression. Aggression. frequent, frequent irritability, and physical or verbal altercations. Oh my God, you're annoyed all the time. You're always agging. Frequent, frequent irritability. That's your mood most of the time. A good probably 7.5 to 8 times out of 10. And physical or verbal altercations. Oh no. Oh no, heavy on the physical. But oh no, on the verbal too. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That means you lack the ability to have a conversation. That's what I get from that. You guys let me know what you get from it, if anything at all. Duh. Like I said, we're going over some of the core symptoms of individuals with ASPD, and that is short for antisocial personality disorder. Okay? The next one they give is irresponsibility. Irresponsibility. A persistent failure to honor financial obligations or maintain steady employment. Okay, so they're talking in being irresponsible in the monetary way. Even though we all know there's levels to being irresponsible. But in this context, for what they're giving us, irresponsibility, a persistent failure to honor financial obligations or maintain steady employment. That's a problem. I'd say it's a problem for yourself, number one, but don't let you have the nerve to have people that you're responsible for who depend upon you or depend on you, because then that's a whole other issue. Because it's bad enough and sad enough if for whatever reason, whether that's voluntary, whether that is non-voluntary to a certain extent, because you do have a mental health condition that kind of um, stifles you in a way, especially if it's going unchecked. So it's one thing to let yourself and your responsibilities to fall by the wayside, which is bad enough, and on its own. But then if you have responsibilities as far as other people, that's a whole other ball game. Okay. And the last one they listed for us is lack of remorse, indifference or rationalizing indifference. Oh, excuse me. Or what is this? Rationalization. Oh, that might be one of the words of the day. Rationalization after hurting, mistreating, or stealing from others. Oh no. Lack of remorse, indifference, or rationalization after hurting, mistreating, or stealing from others. So you really don't feel no ways after you done did whatever you did or said whatever you said to somebody. And if it's not that you don't really feel no ways, you find yourself trying to rationalize it. I can't get that word. I don't care, but I know what it means though. You're trying to make excuses, likely to spin it in a way to make you feel a little bit better about what it is that you said or did, even if you know it was wrong or not called for or unwarranted. I don't like that. I messed that word up. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to work it out. Rationalization. Rationalization. I'm going to have them say it for me later. I don't like that. Rationalize. Rationalize. Rationalization. Rationalization. There we go, Ben. Lucky for me, lucky for thee. I don't care too much about trying to put on a front for folks. How about that? What say you? Because that's a whole nother mental health issue. People who hyper focus on doing and saying things with the masses fully and solely in mind. Worrying about what they gonna say, what they gonna think, how they gonna portray it, rather than how you feel about what it is you're doing or saying. I don't care about messing up words, especially when I know what they mean. And I definitely don't mind pivoting to go and Google something to find out. And let's continue. All right, so we already went over the definition of antisocial personality disorder, ASPD for short, at least the definition that's listed for me. You guys do your own research, and if I'm missing something and you have something to add it. Duh. We already went over some of the core symptoms of individuals with ASPD. All right, next we're going to go over diagnosis and development. Okay, but first let's see if anybody had anything to say or if anybody new came in. Thank you, Uncle L. Thank you. Hey, Lays. Happy Friday, V in chat. I want to play V. What you doing? Learning about antisocial personality disorder. What you doing? And how are you doing? Well, I hope. Oh, never mind. I don't have those. Okay. I'm irresponsible and I'm leaving the water running. Well, I'm sure if you're leaving the water running, it's only to thaw something out that's going to be cooked in the near future. So I ain't mad at you. Just make sure that it's not plugging the drain or whatever have you. So that way it doesn't run over. And groovy, cool beans. Cause look, Lace, we don't want the sink to runneth over, but that cup, that cup. Oh, I put it in the atmosphere all the time for my cup to runneth over. Hold on. And it does. One just has to sit back and take a step back and appreciate that. Bars. Hold on. I don't know about y'all, but hold up. But my cup runneth over. That's a blessing. I want to get Friday fun baskets for the grands. That's exciting. It's always a time with you, and they know that. So let's continue because I don't have much time left. All right, so we're going to go over some of the diagnosis and development for ASPD. Okay. The first one, it says childhood signs And in parentheses, it says conduct disorder. Okay, childhood signs and conduct disorder. Hold on. I hope you guys are getting something out of this, even if it doesn't necessarily apply to you. It may apply to somebody you know, or it may apply to somebody you may meet in the future. Hold on. Childhood signs. To receive a formal ASPD diagnosis, an individual must be at least 18 years old, but they must have shown a history of conduct disorder before age 15. This includes aggression towards people and animals, destruction of property, theft, or serious rule violations. Okay. All right. Next, it says sociopathy, sociopathy versus psychopathy. Sociopath versus psychopath. Geesh. While neither term is an official clinical diagnosis, sociopath and psychopath are often used. Ooh, this is another one that's going to get me, but I like that it's going to get me because then I'm going to get it. Are often used colloquially. Oh, I think I said that right. colloquially. Colloquially. And I'm going to just use my context clues because I'll probably Googling it. Meaning, I guess at the same time or simultaneously or equally. That's what my context clues is telling me. I could be off. Are often used colloquially to describe individuals with severe forms of ASPD. Psychopathy is generally considered a more severe, ingrained version involving a deeper lack of conscience and emotional depth. Okay. So what I gathered from that is there's levels to being diagnosed with ASPD, which is why awareness and treatment is very important. Because you can't treat or you can't encourage someone to get treatment for something you're not able to identify. Next, we're going to go over some of the causes of ASPD, and then I'll check the chat. The exact cause is unknown, but ASPD is believed to result from a combination of genetics, inherited vulnerabilities, and personality traits, brain chemistry / structure, differences in brain development, particularly in areas regulating, impulse control and empathy. And lastly, it says environment, childhood trauma, severe abuse, neglect, or growing up with parents who exhibited antisocial or substance abuse behaviors. Okay? Because a majority of the things we're going to be discussing are things that one doesn't have to necessarily be born with. Sometimes lived experiences can really have a negative effect on people and really take a negative stronghold on them. If they're not strong enough in the moment to rise above it, and if they don't have a positive yet firm support system. That's another thing people must know and recognize and realize. When you're dealing with people and how you treat people, at least if you're not a demon, you know, or like the Tin Man, from who was it? The movie with Dorothy and them, with no hearts. That's something to really take and consider and to think about. When you just out here handling people any old way or treating people any old way, and that's just a broad thing for us all. That is something to definitely take into consideration. Both are dangerous. Yes. So let's continue. It says treatment. Treatment challenges, excuse me. Okay. Hold on. ASPD is considered a lifelong and notoriously difficult condition to treat because those affected rarely recognize that they have a problem or need help, which is also why I'll circle back to having a positive, supportive, yet firm support system matters, okay? Because they're going to tell you, and they're not going to have any quarrels about telling you that something is off, even if they can't put their finger on it. And it's about high time we go and try to figure out what that something is, especially when you're exhibiting behaviors that affect more than just yourself. Even though you can't make a grown person do anything, but duh, that's totally different than just throwing your hands up and just saying F them and F it, or just working around the behaviors that they are exhibiting while probably talking junk about them at the same time. You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Okay. Furthermore, a lack of trust in therapists or a tendency to manipulate treatment providers can complicate, excuse me, the process. Well, yeah, we talked about before um, how seeking therapy or counseling has a negative mark, so to say, on it. People are very judgy when it comes to when it comes to receiving therapy and whatnot. And there's also people that are very judgy to their loved ones or to their friends or whatever who verbalize to them that they may would like to seek some type of therapy or counseling. And those are the type of people you need to keep away from you, because even if they don't subscribe to that, there's no need to, do the most or say the most to try to discourage you from getting it or receiving it. Hold on. And therapy or counseling is one of those things I believe could be something that involves or may involve a bit of trial and error for some folks, because at the end of the day, the therapist or the counselor is still a human being. And as we know, everyone, just like everything, Yeah, I think you can. You know, the first, the first or the second therapist or counselor that you go to may not be your cup of tea. That doesn't mean to say F it altogether. You're just gonna have to get a different one until you find one who quote unquote works for you. But also keep in mind that when it comes to therapy or counseling, what may not be your cup of tea, or which you may not think is your cup of tea, may actually be right up your alley, especially when it's something different as far as engagement with a human being than what you are accustomed to. Hold on. Which may be a good thing because you're not seeking therapy or counseling for nothing, right? Right. All right, let's continue. So we're gonna go over well, we already went over some of the treatment challenges for ASPD. Next, we're going to go over psychotherapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can sometimes help individuals examine harmful behaviors and learn to manage anger or impulses, which is something positive and productive as to doing nothing, or as to not making any type of attempt. Next is medication. While there are no medications specifically approved to treat ASPD, drugs are sometimes prescribed to manage co-occurring conditions like severe aggression, depression, or substance abuse. Now, some people don't subscribe to or don't like taking medicines. That's where the psychotherapy would come in hand to hopefully help with that or manage it. Medication is not always a must, but it doesn't mean that there has to be a bad stigma on it either. Especially, like I said, if you have good people around you who will be able to identify if the medication that you're taking is having a negative effect on you, because that's always a risk, because sometimes it's not easy for someone to be able to pinpoint or identify if a medicine that they have um, started to take or whatever is having a negative impact on them, unless it's something that's physically causing them harm, if that makes sense. So it's good to have good people around you that will be able to be like, especially if they're privy to the fact that you just began taking this medicine, they'll be able to be like, such and such is starting to act a little different and go from there. Hmm. I'll read this little paragraph they have at the end because I don't feel like it can hurt anything. It says, if you or someone you know is seeking help, it is vital to consult with a licensed mental health professional. Duh. You can explore, and then they got it in all caps, Sam, I don't know what that means, what they're saying, but SAMHSAS, National Helpline, to find free confidential treatment referral services. Okay, so they're saying if you do that, it will help you help lead you in the right direction if you're not sure. Hold on, I'll put this in the chat. This says SAMHSA, National Hotline. Hold on. Then it says for in-depth clinical information on ASPD criteria, review the American Psychiatric, Association blog. Okay, cool beans. Hold on. I appreciate those of you that were in attendance for today. Let me put that in the chat. Who dropped in to say hello. Hope everyone is having a great morning. And I hope y'all have a great day and evening. And I really hope you're able to get something out of this. All right. Thank you. Bye.